Hello everybody and welcome to this segment of Sports Central. I'm Hank Longo along with Neal Duncan, and we've got a great show for you today. Al Corbeil, the head baseball coach at Polk State College, George Sasvari from Sasvari soccer training camps, and Rosa Driggs, our public education officer, that's going to talk about the 2012 Hurricane Expo. So stick around everybody for this segment of Sports Central. Hi everybody and welcome to our first segment of Sports Central today, and Hank Longo along with Neal Duncan. Hey, fun to be back on the show. Been a while.
Absolutely. Where you been?
Oh, just on tour, just all kinds of fun places.
Probation now?
Busy.
Busy.
Yep, I'm out now.
Well, this segment brought to us, Hank, by Bright House Networks, great partner of tourism and sports marketing, and really very supportive of a lot of different initiatives in the county, and Drew Gill and the whole group, just great partners.
Just do a fantastic job. We want to thank them a lot. Well, we have a fun first segment. Al Corbeil, the head baseball coach at Polk State College. And Al, great having you on the show, and an exciting season for you this year.
Very exciting season for us, and we're looking forward to continuing it out in Grand Junction. I appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, what's so exciting about it? They only have the best record they've ever had.
Yeah.
They just won the regional title at Tiger Town in Lakeland. So what's so exciting about this season?
Well, we're looking forward to getting out to Grand Junction. I think it's going to be a great experience for our players, and a great opportunity for those guys to get out there and play in front of 15,000 fans. So we're looking forward to it. And
this is the National Junior College World Series that's going on out in Kansas.
Colorado. Grand Junction.
Oh, Colorado.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it had Kansas on my sheet. Yeah, Grand Junction, Colorado. Just could have read that a little better. But what's made this season so exciting for you?
Well, I think we got a great group of kids that have a great work ethic, and it really gelled together this year. Got a great coaching staff. They work extremely hard. They do a great job, and then we've got tremendous support from the administration at the college, and with our athletic director being Tyus. So, we've got a ton of support going forward, and excited about everything that's happening over at the college.
Of course, you have some great momentum coming into this year, because last year you set a record for school, most wins in a season, and you've eclipsed that this year, and then you guys were able to actually go and win now the state tournament is actually the regional tournament,
yes.
Right? That's the qualifier for the national tournament, and this is the only second time Polk State College has actually won that state/regional tournament, correct?
Yep, so one team from Florida goes every year, so the state tournament does qualify us as a regional tournament as well. And last year, we had a great season and won 43 games last year, and we're also in a good situation where we had a lot of guys returning off of last year's ball club that got a taste of it, and we made it to the final day last year in the state tournament and came up a little short, and those guys found a way to get it done this year.
How is coaching at the junior college level different than coaching at a four-year school? Just because you kind of feel like John Calipari from Kentucky. You're going to have them 1, maybe 2 years, and then they're going to be landing somewhere else. How do you keep the continuity going when you're only going to have these kids maybe at most 2 years?
That's probably the most difficult part of it, is you only have those guys for 1 or 2 years. Also, because of the draft, you're going to lose some players to the draft every year, and it's a lengthy process getting everybody to buy into what you're doing and getting them on board, and it helps having players that have been there and they're going to return for you and can bring some of that leadership. But we don't have the luxury of keeping these guys for 3 or 4 years. Some of them you absolutely love to have, because they're just going to continue to get better.
Right. Well, and then having that and taking that success from last year, how did you, I mean, you've got to pull, Florida's obviously a hotbed for talent, and Polk County has great baseball as well. So we were talking before we came on air that you've got some of the local talent coming to Polk State to play college before they move on to the next level. Talk about some of those kids from right here in Polk County.
We've got some really good ones from right here in Polk County. We got Pitcher of the Year in the state, Alec Asher, 12 wins for us. He's got a ERA around a 1.3.
Wow.
He's had a tremendous year. We've got another right-handed pitcher, Trey Norris from Frostproof High. Our center fielder, Ryan News from Lake Wales. He's been our center fielder the last 2 years, and so we've got a handful of kids from right here, and the majority of our recruiting is within an hour and a half of here. I mean, being right in the middle of Florida in Polk County, you know, it's nice for us because Polk County does have a lot of talent, and then we can take a short drive to Tampa or Orlando and pick up some kids there.
The state's full of talent, so you're lucky there. You've got kids that can get in baseball programs and basically play ball pretty much all year round. So it's a lot easier for you being down here to recruit than it would be like probably, you know, up in North Carolina in the farther north you get, where you don't have kids that are having the opportunity that they have here. Who are some of your big sluggers on the team this year?
Our left fielder, Mike Danner, leading the country in RBIs right now. He's been our 3-hole hitter for the last 2 years. He's a all-state selection both years. Our second baseman, Connor Zerba, was a conference player of the year, and he led the state in runs scored and stolen bases and hit by pitch. So, you know, we've got those two guys that did a great job, and, you know, our whole lineup's been pretty consistent all year.
Danner had 67 RBIs, if my information's correct here, and that's getting it done. That's producing.
Yeah, he's finding a way to drive guys in. I mean, he's done a tremendous job, and you know, he hit that big home run in the championship game of the state tournament to tie it up and make it a 4-4 game, and I think that really ignited our club to come back and pull out a win there.
Obviously, being 45-10, you're winning at home as well on the road. But one of the things that sticks out to me is you got a 7-1. Record on neutral sites. Obviously, going to Colorado, that's a neutral site. Do you think they just block out what's going on and just get after it and play ball, or what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think I think every day that they just show up ready to go. I mean, they're used to coming in, punching the clock, and getting to work. They do have a good time. We got a pretty loose group, but they're pretty close-knit group of guys.
So, how do you get them to focus on the game? What are some of the most important things that you feel as a coach that you've got to deliver to these guys so that they can come out and perform every day like they're doing? Because you say, boy, if they just come out there punching and go to work, you must have instilled some good basics into their training and the way they approach the game.
I think that starts from day one. You know, they come in, we meet, we lay out the expectations and the rules of the program, and then, you know, they're conditioning the next day. I mean, we're getting after it, and, you know, again, my coaching staff does a tremendous job with our players, and, you know, we've got a lot of workouts. We start working out 5 days a week at 6:30 in the morning, and it's a long process. It's a 10-month process to get to this point, and, you know, they do stay focused, and I think part of that is them also staying loose, and we've got a group that likes to talk, and they stay into the game, so fun bunch.
Do you think what the college has done recently with the new look, the new color scheme, the new uniforms, the really, of course, Eileen Holden and everybody leading the charge, you think that's makes your job as a coach to recruit people to Polk State easier because of the things that the college is offering now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the college is going in a great direction. We've got a new logo, new mascot, new colors. Again, administration's been phenomenal. We've had a ton of upgrades out at our facilities. At the ball field, we put a new halo in, got a new netting backstop system in, and it's a nice, fresh look. It's good. It's good for us. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, and facilities are important, whether it's a great high school team to junior college, all the way up to the Division I or the major leagues. It's about facilities, and of course we work real well with Polk State College at Polk Sports Marketing and bringing events in, and it's always, you're right, the administration is wonderful to work with over there, Bing and the whole crew, because we have those top quality facilities here in Polk County, and obviously that's a tribute to you as well.
Yeah, it's great that the guys get to play in good facilities. What are you going to do about Colorado? Do you get out there a little bit early so they get used to the altitude up there And is that any bit of a disadvantage from them coming down here at sea level, going up into the altitude in Colorado?
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to fly out next Wednesday and get a head start and let those guys get adjusted to that climate out there and get a couple practices in and then be ready to go that Saturday.
I got to think that, is it Danner?
Yeah.
He's got to be licking his chops because that thin air, being the
air
slugger that he is.
Put him out of the ballpark.
But the facility that the tournament's going to be played at, what facility is it? And is there a host school out there, or is this like a major league type facility?
It's Grand Junction. It's at Alpine Bank, Sam Simplizio Field. We are going to be the first, one of the first teams going in, the first from Florida to go in with the $8 million renovations they've done to it out there. So. Mm-hmm. We're extremely excited about that. I went out there as a player in 1999, and I've told my guys from day one that that's a highlight of my playing career, and that includes playing Division I and Super Regionals or in regionals, and then even in Pro Ball, playing in the postseason. I mean, I don't think too much compares to it when you're in front of 15,000 fans and they're all rooting for you and want your autographs and everything else. So. It's going to be a great experience.
So it's a College World. It's an Omaha type experience out there, and the whole community comes together. And we wish you guys nothing but luck on that because we're excited. Maybe we could talk Mr. Jackson, letting us go with them.
Go out.
Maybe we need to feature you on Sports Central and follow your trip. Yeah, exactly.
Get your plane tickets, get your hotel rooms reserved because they're going to fill up pretty quick.
Wow, that's fantastic, Al. You've got to be just really tickled that your guys are doing so well. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime, opportunity for these guys to get to go participate in this. Like you said, they'll remember this the rest of their lives as they look back on their career in baseball.
Well, I've also got to think that the major league teams or the Division I schools are also looking at the schools that do well, because obviously you do well in these type of things or win a World Series by having good players. So it's also probably a place that they can showcase their talents, right?
Oh, it's going to be full of scouts and colleges, and they're going to be out there evaluating the few guys that we have available still, and then our freshmen, coming into next year. So they get a head start on them as well. So yeah, it's a great event.
Well, good luck to you. And the World Series is May 26th through June 2nd. And if you want to follow them, obviously you can go to the Polk State website or go to CentralFloridaSports.com. I'm sure the Ledger will have coverage on it, the News Chief, whatever. But wish you guys the best of luck, and hopefully we'll have you back in June with some hardware
That'd be great.
with you. That'd be fantastic.
Well, Al, thanks so much for being on the show, and best of luck to you out there at the World Championships, the World Series for College. Well, folks, a great first segment, and before we come back to our second segment, we've got a great feature on the Bloomin' Arts Festival, so check this out.
Bloomin' Arts Festival, we start the day on the first day of the show on Saturday with the Bloomin' Bike Ride, which is a bike ride of several different lengths. So there's a fun run for the family as well as a long ride for those that are hardcore bicycle enthusiasts. We also start the morning with a 5K run called the Race for the Arts that's sponsored by the Polk Arts Alliance. So there's a little bit of physical activity to get started before folks can stroll around and relax and enjoy the art.
We had over 100 riders, and we had 3 courses out on beautiful South Polk County. We gave out 8 bicycles to the Power Peddlers. The Power Peddlers are foster children, and they got brand new bikes today so that hopefully they can start a healthy lifestyle and a love for exercise.
Okay, I'm here at Bloomin Arts Festival to display my artwork and maybe to sell some of my artwork. It's a really good experience as well. Most of my art is done with mixed media. Some is photography. It's just artwork that I've done over my 4 years at Harrison School of the Arts. It's a photograph of one of my friend's sculpture that she did. It's just pretty much done on with a camera, digital photography, and then it was enhanced on Photoshop.
There's a little bit of something to eat and drink for everyone. In addition, we provide an entertainment stage, and we feature local entertainment all throughout the day on the Saturday of the show.
We have over 105 artists this year, and we will probably see around 10,000 people coming through downtown Bartow to enjoy the show. We're proud because there's something for everyone. We also have flowers. Next year will be our 42nd annual Bloomin Arts Festival. We will be adding an antique show that will be down at the other end. We're excited about that, and we hope to see everybody out here. For information about our art show, you can contact the Bartow Art Guild, and their website is www.bartowartguild.com. You can also contact the Bartow Chamber of Commerce, which is www.bartowchamber.com, and they'll be glad to help you out.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our second segment of Sports Central. Hope you enjoyed that segment on the Bloomin Arts Festival. Some really neat stuff going on there. Hank Longo along with Neal Duncan, and another great segment.
You've been to Bloomin Arts.
No, I haven't.
You've never been to Bloomin Arts?
No.
Mayfair?
Never had the opportunity to get over there. We've always had something else going on every time it's
Bloomin
happening.
Arts is a great event right here in Bartow, and Of course, all those years I worked at the chamber, I was involved with that. But
with
great event, and they do a great job putting that on. This second segment is going to be brought to us by the Best Western Auburndale, right off of Highway 92, and another great
nice
set
accommodations
of
right there to help support everything we got going on at Lake Myrtle and all of our neat sports facilities going on. Well, we have a very special guest joining us in segment number 2, George Sasvari. Sasvari, is that correct?
That is very good.
And George is the founder and president of the Sasvari Way soccer training camps, and you got some big stuff coming up here in the near future.
It's very exciting. It's our 9th year in Polk County doing it at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. Ever since they've opened, we've been there, which was about halfway through that 9-year period. And so we've been there since they opened those first 3 fields in the front and then the entire complex. It's the state-of-the-art complex in Florida, and it's a fantastic facility. And it's a great opportunity to bring these kids over from Europe and participate and get to know local people and get involved in the local community.
We're talking about the 9th Annual International Soccer Academy. It's coming up soon, July 3rd through the 7th, as you mentioned, at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, which we're kind of fond of. Well, Hank's office isn't there, but mine isn't. It looks right over all those fields that you're talking about.
This all day long.
But fantastic complex, and of course a great partnership between Polk County, Polk Sports Marketing, and the city of Auburndale. And you're right, the city does a fantastic job with those fields, and it helps to bring in events like this with the international flavor.
It does. It's really neat. When we started this, it was something that was a simple concept, and we had a connection. We've been doing stuff internationally with teams, and we said one day, hey, it'd be neat to have them come over to Polk County and learn a little bit about Polk County. And Guy Jennings, who's the coach at Auburndale High School, said, well, we'll help get them host families through the Auburndale Soccer Club. And the next thing we know, we've got, for the last 9 years, these international players from Denmark, and that's where it started first, was just Danish players, between 15, 16, 17 years old. And they spend really 10 days here. The camp itself is the 3rd through the 7th, but the time period for the time that they're here is actually 10 days. They go the 1st through the 10th, that they'll be here, leaving on the 11th. So they get to see not just the camp itself, but they explore the Auburndale community, Polk County. They visit some of the attractions, and it's a great experience to have these kids learn from, really stay with families that represent traditional America. I mean, you couldn't have a better example of that here in Auburndale.
Of course, very successful program there at Auburndale High School with the boys soccer state championships in 05 and 07, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And that whole Auburndale youth soccer program itself is huge. Of course, they had the original 3 fields that you were speaking of, that you moved to camp, and then the addition of the 8 fields for the Florida Youth Soccer Associations.
Right.
So Lake Myrtle really is the epicenter of soccer in the state of Florida, and what a great venue for your event there.
And it's neat because these are not just kids who come over. These are fantastic players. I mean, a lot of them are under youth pro contracts. They're all still amateurs, but they're with pro clubs. And some of them are just average players. So it's a little bit of a mix. And these kids go on, some of them are professional contracts today. They're 22 years old from the first year that we started this, and 23, 24 years old, and they're playing pro soccer in Europe. And the neat thing is that, when they were 15, 16, their first taste of America was to be right here in Auburndale, and to live with an Auburndale family and experience using the game of soccer, really playing it, sharing their passion for it at a high level with the Auburndale community. And we'd like to think we had a little something to do with those championships at Auburndale High School, at least helping get them passionate about the game and their enthusiasm to really work hard and enjoy the game at the highest level.
Well, also does, I'm sorry, Hank, it also does a great job to expose the game more in these states, because I think by and large the United States is the only place in the world that doesn't care about soccer. Right. I mean, it's growing, but if you go coast to coast, it's not as popular as the main NFL and NBA, but that's changing. And events like this are certainly giving you guys a platform to do that.
Well, it's interesting because a couple of weeks ago they had the Manchester City Manchester United game, and I think the statistics on the Super Bowl was something like 150 million people watch it, and that one game was just a regular season game, but it was 650 million people watched that game, and throughout the world. And obviously a big part of that is in the USA, and now you're seeing ESPN come up with the ESPN soccer channel itself, as you know, and so on. So there's a lot more exposure than there was before. And communities like Auburndale, which you would never think of in embracing the sport of soccer, because it is a small community, a rural community where typically, you know, you have your traditional American sports that dominate, and for whatever reason, you know, there's been a great relationship between these kids. And I think a lot of it is that these Danish kids come over and they experience what America's all about, and hardworking people who, you know how to live by good traditional American values, and at the same time they pick up on these kids' passion, the international kids' passion for the sport. You know, over that time we've had kids join us from Scotland, from Germany, from Spain, from Hungary, that have also come into this event. We limit it to 120 kids total, and typically it's about somewhere between a 2/3 local community and a 1/3 international kids. Sometimes it's almost 50-50. And the neat thing about it is that the local kids really grow their love for the sport, and that's why I say maybe we have a little something. We'd like to think we had something to do with some of those championships and how much they want to commit to being successful. And we also make it a cultural exchange opportunity, but it's also about challenging these kids at a high level. I mean, this is the coaches who've come here from America as well as abroad are some of the highest level coaches. And the comments that they've made, that they come when they're here to either coach in a camp or evaluate kids for college, are that's some of the highest level camp they've seen in anywhere in the States, because of the fact that you have international kids mixing with American kids. I mean, typically you go abroad to do that. You don't get to do it in your own backyard.
How did you get involved with the soccer players from Denmark? How did this all get going to begin with?
Well, it goes back about 20 years. I'm European by descent. I mean, I was born in America and raised here, but I was just like a lot of Americans. You know, we came from a European family, and so my parents were Hungarian, and I grew up playing the sport. I played football and baseball as well, playing in Hillsborough County in high school and everything else. But at the same time, I became a soccer coach, and the connection internationally was when I met some coaches at a camp that we did together up in New York, and one of them was a guy by the name of Kjeld Ganshorn, who happens to be the guy who's leading the charge and bringing these kids over. And we just hit it off and connected from a coaching perspective, and wanted to work together. And we started off by him bringing 6 kids over originally. We did it in New York, and then we progressed into bringing it into this community here. And one of the differences is if we try to do this in Orange County or in Orlando, for instance, the difference would be that those kids would be spread across homes throughout several cities, and it would be hard to keep the connection. And here, the Auburndale community literally just puts their arms around us, puts their arms around the camp in terms of their support for the camp and helping out the camp, but also their support for the kids and the families working together. So everybody coordinates what they're doing throughout the day with each other. So these 30 plus kids that come from abroad, they stay connected the whole time they're here because the families are all connected, because they all know each other in the community. So it's really kind of neat. I mean, they open up their homes and they bring in 2 kids and they're there for 10 days and they learn from each other, and it's really kind of neat.
Now, are the kids, when you for the kids, the local kids from Auburndale,
right,
that, I mean, we talked about how soccer isn't as mainstream as football and baseball, but
right,
you go to Lake Myrtle on a Saturday morning and that place is packed all day long. So more and more young kids are playing soccer. It's almost every kid is starting to play soccer now,
right,
which is it's a good game for kids. It's not as tough as football as far as injuries, and they're running and running and running. I mean,
right,
how healthy can it get? But for these kids coming from Europe that are with pro teams at a young age, are they inspirational to the local soccer players? I mean, are they seeing a high level of talent that they can say, oh my gosh, this is, how often do you get to see a really skilled soccer player when you're, playing in the local community? There's talented kids, but to get somebody that's a young age and, playing on a pro team or as an amateur maybe, but
it's really quite amazing when you think about it, because there's so much soccer going on in the United States from a player standpoint. There's a lot of opportunities for kids to play and a lot of camps to go to. But it's not very often that in a smaller community you have this connection between these kids that live the game and grow up, that's all they think about. And now you're coming into a community where they have so many more choices on sports, and it's not the main sport. And I think what happens is the local kids connect with the passion that they bring for the game, their love for the game, and obviously their skill. And it's sort of inspirational to be around players who are always thinking about the game, whether they're on the field or not, and talking about the game and always touching a ball and having fun. I mean, if we're not on the soccer field, we do a great 4th of July picnic in the middle of the camp. I mean, that's another experience that makes it unique. I mean, how many soccer camps or any camps that you go to do you have a 4th of July picnic in the middle of it? And this isn't just a 4th of July picnic with the camp only. It's just all the families of the kids that are hosting come, all the families of the other Auburndale kids in the community that are here. And by the way, it also includes kids from around the state of Florida and outside the state. So we've had kids come from various other states, South Carolina and Utah and so on, that have come in to attend the camp, and they're experiencing the Auburndale community. And all of a sudden, we've got 200 people, 300 people, 400 people that are in having a good old-fashioned 4th of July picnic. And you know what they're doing? They're not playing volleyball. They're playing volleyball with their feet, and they're instead of traditional volleyball. So that's kind of passion that they pick up on is, you know, these kids just love the game. So I think that the Auburndale kids connect with their love for it and their passion for it and how great they think of it, and it starts to build the momentum for, you know, the local both soccer club and also for the high school.
Well, as we're running out of time here, real quick, how can people get information about the camp or sign up or volunteer or any of that kind of stuff?
Well, they can go to the Polk County Sports Marketing website, and also you can go to orlandosoccercamps.com, orlandosoccercamps.com, and you just click on International Academy, and you can find out the information about this event and register to either attend as a local commuter, or you can participate in the residential portion, which is the overnight stays and so on. And we use, you know, local vacation homes in the Polk County community that we're able to connect with through Polk County Sports Marketing and their assistance in order to house the kids that are coming from around the United States. So they stay residentially. The international kids, most of them are staying with families, and it's a really neat opportunity. And it's high-level training, you know, with also an experience that reaches beyond the soccer field itself.
Well, thank you so much for bringing this event to Polk County.
Yeah, George, this is fabulous, and that you've been doing it this long, and wish you a lot of luck this year. And
thank you very much.
A great turnout for you, and we appreciate you joining us today on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're going to go from soccer to tennis, the USTA Super Soccer Series. You want to check this out, a great little bit of footage for you, and we'll be right back after this.
We've been running the Lender Junior Super Series tennis tournament for over 35 years, and it's a very, very special event. We have over 100 children participating in the tournament, and we have some real good players as well as players that are up and coming.
Well, I've been in nationals all around the nation, and I hope to be in the pro level, which is around the world. I've been playing tennis since I was 10 years old, and that's 5 years, and played tennis at the Lakeland Yacht Club and here at Lakeland City Courts, and I play tennis because I love it.
The Linder family has been sponsoring the tournament, like I said, for over 30 years. And the city of Lakeland is who actually puts the tournament on. And it's the Florida Tennis Association, sanctioned by the Florida Tennis Association. It gives them an avenue and something to do and something to practice on and hopefully get good enough to get a college scholarship. As far as helping the community, it helps the community because the kids and the parents stay in motels and go to our local restaurants, so it's a win-win from that standpoint also.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our third segment of Sports Central. Hank Longo along with Neal Duncan. We have so much fun in between these clips here behind the scenes, but some great tennis out in Lakeland. Not soccer, tennis.
Soccer.
Great
As
tennis.
Hank said, soccer, but it was tennis.
Dave Bierman doing a great job out there. And
no, I'm not done calling you out about
and I'm trying to get right over that and keep things rolling here as we move into our third segment.
Brought to us by the Avenue Hotel.
All righty, Avenue Hotel, thank you so much. And a very educational third segment coming up here on Sports Central.
Which is very rare.
Which is a unique opportunity for you here. Rosa Driggs, who is a Polk County educational officer for safety in the county, and we're going to talk about, kind of worked my way around that one, and we're going to talk about the Hurricane Expo coming up. So Rosa, great having you here.
You make my position sound so official. I
appreciate that. It is very official. You got the official shirt on and everything.
We go from baseball to soccer to hurricanes. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about Miami football.
Well, you don't do that on this program.
Bad word? Yeah,
Florida State only.
We'll have to argue. But anyhow,
moving right along,
June 2nd, we have our Hurricane Expo. We do it every year, and every year you guys are gracious enough to let us come on and tell everybody about it. This year we've had a little bit of a change in location. As a lot of people remember, the Orange Dome is no longer the Orange Dome. It's a gravel. So we are actually moving to Lake Eva Banquet Hall in Haines City. It's going to be a beautiful location. It's got carpet and air conditioning, so I'm very happy about that. Sure. If anyone remembers at the Dome, we had neither. We're going to do it on Saturday, June 2nd, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We got speakers lined up through the day. We also have about 50 vendors. Lots of opportunity to learn about hurricane season, weather, forecasting, how to prepare for it, and a lot of great door prizes. Some of our speakers are going to be some of our meteorologists from around the area. Dave Osterberg from Channel 13. We have Josh Linker from Bay News 9. National Weather Service will also be there. And we have Lee Spann from Channel 8 will also be there throughout the day. So you can get a lot of education and meet those people. Vendors, of course, we know you might be there, so we're going to have food. Our fire union always grills, and for each piece of food you buy, you get a ticket, chance to win a grill that Home Depot supplies. Nice. So that's always pretty popular. Fill out a survey so we can learn how people prepare and get some more information about our county. And you could have an opportunity to win a generator, a portable generator that's supplied by Lowe's. So we've got a lot of good prizes and a lot of good information. Yeah, it's a great day.
You know, and it's one of those things. I heard a couple of people recently talking. Well, was it 04? It had been 50 years before that, and it's not going to hit us. And you don't have to worry about it. That was just a fluke, and that's not really true because 04 disproved a lot of theories that we're so far inland that we won't really be affected by any storms.
It definitely proved that theory doesn't always hold water, per se. Two things that people need to realize, and they really look at Dr. Gray's forecast, how many named storms, how many major storms. Two things to look at with that is, yes, since 2004, Polk County has not been directly impacted. But 2010 and 2011 were the third busiest seasons ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin. Granted, they didn't all hit land, but we only need one. Now, 20 years ago this year was Andrew that hit Homestead in Miami. That year, we only had a predictions of 6 hurricanes, 1 major and 1 named. Well, it went to Miami. Now, the Homestead people probably don't care about those numbers anymore. They remember the reality. So we can't really rest on that. We have to keep people being alerted. The tropics, even today in mid-May, are starting to get active. And we're seeing some things out there. So we really don't know what to expect, but all we need to know is that we've got to be ready. And this is the Hurricane Expo is the way that we help our citizens get ready.
Well, we had a fairly mild winter.
Right.
And that means the water temperatures in the Gulf and in the Atlantic are warmer than they should be at this point. So do they think that, has the report come out yet on how many storms that
Well,
they
and
predict?
that's what, they do it in April.
Okay.
They'll do again in June.
June,
So we're
okay.
waiting on a new one here
Right.
real soon. But like I said, those numbers, we can't rest on that because 20
Right.
years ago, they didn't prove true.
Right.
The biggest thing is with the different changes in weather, and the forecasters are looking at that, and that's what all these forecasters are going to talk about at the actual event, is that we just have to have people ready. I mean, not only hurricanes, but we've seen tornadoes, you know, throughout our county and northern counties. So there's always a preparedness needs to be there.
And they can come together, so that could even be more devastating.
Yes, when they start hitting on top of each other, whether it be hurricane after hurricane or tornado spawn during a hurricane,
Well, the event
which
is
we've seen.
June 2nd at Lake Eva. But what are some of the things we don't want to tell too much because then people won't go. But what are some of the things that people can do now to get ready?
What people can do now to get ready is start talking to their families where they're going to evacuate to if we order an evacuation. If you don't live in a concrete block home, then where will you go? Will it be friends and families? Will it be out of state? Will you go to a shelter? And you need to start getting that information. But make that plan now before it is too late and the wind and weather is right here on top of us.
Right, and don't forget about your pets either, because
Yes.
in New Orleans, that was one of the big issues that we saw was they had to get out so quick that people didn't have
Time to take
enough
them.
to take care of their pets. So a lot of pets perished or were stranded.
And we even saw a lot of that in 2004 here. A lot of pets were lost and separated from their owners. The biggest thing now is we do have 3 pet shelters, so you and your pets can come to a shelter or start talking to your vet or boarding now and decide what you're going to do. For me, when I think pets, I've got a cat. Some people have horses and other kind of animals and bigger livestock they need to start making plans for. Whereas it may not be in my thought pattern, it is in a lot of people's.
You've got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
For the folks that can come, not everybody's going to be able to come to the expo, but I think it's important that we share information with them here, and they should go just for more education
Right.
and listen to the great speakers you have. But what are some of the essentials people need to have or think about stocking in their home for, because you can lose your electricity. Last time we had, Charles and all that come in, I was out of electricity for I think like a week, and other
a long
people.
week.
Yeah, it was, and if you're caught off guard, that can be very difficult because you can't go shopping, or you might be, trapped in your neighborhood because of trees down, and you
Or the
can't
stores
drive.
could be damaged.
And the
Or
stores
out of
could be
service.
damaged. So,
Right.
what are some of the essentials people should stock up on?
Of course, water. Can't live without it. That's all there is to it. We need 1 gallon per person per day. And we plan on being ready for 3 days. After that, we can start bringing resources in and out. But 3 days, 1 gallon per person per day. Of course, food. Things that you can eat without heating them. And of course, if they're in cans, you need a manual can opener. On top of that, any medicines that you rely on, have that stocked and ready. Of course, after that, things kind of to pass the time. and make yourself comfortable. But that food, water, and medicines are the top 3 to get.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Comfort foods, as we call them.
Right.
Comfort foods,
right.
moon
I'm
pies.
feeling a little depressed. Time for another cookie.
Yeah.
That's why everybody gains weight during a hurricane.
Absolutely. Well, and it's not like up north when you have a storm, let's say a blizzard or something like that, where you can start a fire or you can more blankets. A hurricane comes through here, you lose the AC and all that, and it's back to
It's
be
hot.
98 degrees.
It is.
So you really got to, especially if you have any kind of medical condition or you have someone that's elderly living with you, you've got to make sure that you have these things in place just in case.
And we have 3 special needs shelters, and it's just for exactly that. Someone that relies on electric to live, whether it be oxygen, dialysis, diabetes, whatever the case may be, that they can go there. But we've got to make those plans ahead of time. It can't be when the wind is already 45 miles an hour.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons for the Expo. Another place to learn about it is June 13th. It's a Wednesday night. It's a Tigers baseball game, Lakeland Tigers at Joker Marchant Stadium. It is against the Dunedin Blue Jays. And during that, what we do is during the breaks, during the game, there'll be contests, there'll be announcements, there'll be trivia questions, all about hurricane preparedness. There'll be displays set up underneath. Best part about the whole night is it's $10 all you can eat. So $10 gets you in the game, ticketed seat, and all you can eat, hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, whatever else. So it's a great deal, and you can learn and have fun at the same time.
That's fantastic. Now, for people to learn more about this, do you have a website that they can go to?
Yes, for the
tune
Hurricane
into?
Expo, you can go to our county website, which is www.polk-county.net/Hurricane Expo. You'll have all the speakers and everything that you need to know.
Oh, great. Well, Rosa, you answered all of our questions.
Yeah, we don't even really need to be here for this.
You want to leave for lunch now? Go ahead. You can have left.
You want to close the show for us?
You
We'll
can go.
Ladies and gentlemen, closing this show for us today, Rosa Driggs is going to do a fabulous job as Neal and I sneak out a little early for lunch.
That's right.
Rosa, thank you so much.
No
and
problem.
phone number if they need to call.
863-519-7350. That's our Polk County Fire Rescue. And I'll be glad to answer any questions or find me.
Well, we appreciate you joining us and educating all our viewers.
Always
and
will.
it's always important information to know, especially down here in beautiful Central Florida. Well, we're going to show you some more arts. Jessica Roberts with an update on the arts, and she just does a fabulous job. So you're going to watch this coming up right now.
Welcome to this edition of Arts and Culture, a Polk County tradition. I'm Jessica Roberts, here to tell you about some great upcoming events taking place across Polk County this month. Fantasy of Flight is celebrating National Military Appreciation Month by extending free admission to all U.S. active duty, retired, and reserve military during the month of May. Guests must present a current ID to qualify for the free general admission ticket. Most museum goers only get to see a fraction of a museum's collection due to the cost, time, and space required to frame and house artwork. So a large number of pieces go unframed and stored in flat files. Polk Museum of Art will be showcasing some of their never-before-seen treasures in their new exhibit, From the Flat Files, now through May 26th. Don't forget, admission to the museum is free every Saturday morning. Bach Tower Gardens presents a musical salute of gratitude to our nation's veterans and current members of America's Armed Forces on Memorial Day, May 28th. Free admission will be offered to our nation's veterans and current members of America's Armed Forces. A valid ID is required. Downtown Lakeland will celebrate First Friday on June 1st with Taking It to the Streets, focusing on alternative forms of transportation. As we all know, gas prices are going up and our streets are getting more crowded. So what can you do about it? Come to First Friday and find out. Bach Tower Gardens has introduced a new summer fun schedule. On June 1st, Bach will host its First Friday, The Private Lives of Plants. They will be mixing science, socializing, and the great outdoors with carillon concerts, small nibbles, and the opportunity to sample wines and microbrews for tiny prices. This event is for those 21 years and older, and a valid ID is required. Well, folks, this has been a quick glance at all the exciting arts and culture events taking place across Polk County this month. For details about these events and more, go to visitcentralflorida.org. Until next time, I'm Jessica Roberts from Polk County's Tourism and Sports Marketing Office. I look forward to seeing you at some of these great events.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fourth segment here on Sports Central. Hank Longo along with Neal Duncan and Jessica Roberts doing such a great job with our arts and culture update, and just glad to have her be a part of our show. And we get to wrap up this fourth segment with all the neat stuff going on.
Fourth segment brought to us by Days Inn, Lakeland North, great supporter of tourism and sports, and segment sponsor.
Well, Neal, so much going on. It just continues to steamroll here in Polk County with events going on. It just doesn't ever seem like it slows down at all with all the events we've got coming up, and now's our chance to kind of highlight some of the neat things going on.
Well, of course, this weekend is the Ironman 70.3, Lance Armstrong coming into town, 2,300 athletes, 500 kids going to be competing in the youth division. Fantastic event. But May 25th through the 27th, the 58th annual Florida State Square and Round Dance Convention. I don't know what a round dance is. Do you?
Well, a square dance is like this. A round dance
is that
like
what it is? Okay,
so.
All right.
Taking my guess at it.
It's presented by the Florida Federation of Square Dancers, and a fantastic event, and that takes place at the Lakeland Center. If you want more information about that, you can contact us at centralfloridasports.com or get the information, and we'll give you more information on that.
This is a neat one. I'm sure you're going to have some type of involvement in this. The Polk County Classic Men Pro-Am Basketball Tournament.
Yeah, it's a double elimination charitable basketball tournament. It's got 14 teams and will compete over a 3-day weekend. Got some high-profile people coming in, and tournament hosts and current member of the New York Knicks and Puerto Rican national team, Ronaldo Blackman. Just a lot of names there. Fantastic event, and that takes place at the George Jenkins High School. So that is May 25th through the 27th as well. So that weekend's already getting pretty full.
Yeah. Yep, and we've got the NSA coming in for their invitational tournament the 26th through the 27th, along with ISA. A lot of softball going on there. The FYSA, the Florida State Cup for under 19-year-olds. We're going to have that event coming up on that same weekend as well. So a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of running events going on in Polk County. Of course, we just talked about the Ironman. Of course,
I got to say, I got to just interrupt for a second. This Ironman is such a neat, big event going on.
Really
and, being at the Outpost and driving through Haines City, going and coming to work, and to see the big signage and the graphic photos of the guys, it's just a neat event.
Well,
and I wish them the best of luck.
And it's not just this upcoming weekend. It's 2,300 athletes and 500 children going to be competing in the Iron Kids. And they've been here for weeks, not the whole time, coming in for the weekend, competing, doing the course. It was kept hush-hush, but Lance Armstrong was actually in Polk County last weekend, competing, going through the course. Of course, we didn't tell anybody that because he didn't need 10,000 people chasing him down. But it's a great event anyways, and then you add a world-class athlete like Lance Armstrong, and it's just... Haines City has done a fantastic job, of course, sports marketing and helping recruiting the event, and Lake Eva this weekend, and really looking forward to it. But another running event coming up is the Carillon Classic 5K run, and that's going to be at Bok Tower Gardens, and that's being put on by the Polk chapter of the Florida Public Relations Association. Benefits will go to, and I'm proud to serve on this particular board, but the George W. Harris Jr. Runaway and Youth Crisis Shelter, located right here in Bartow. Registration, $25. Students, after the deadline on the 11th, so that's passed, is $30, and you can register online. So a fantastic event, going to go to a worthy cause, the Youth Crisis Shelter here in Bartow, and that'll be at Bok Tower Gardens. So not only are you going to get to run a 5K, you get to do it through the gardens, and what a beautiful setting.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous out there. And then more soccer. We got the Disney Memorial Day soccer shootout. And partnering up with Disney on that event.
Absolutely. There's, everybody knows you go to Disney and their world-class facilities, whether it be their theme parks or their sports complex that they have their Disney Wide World of Sports. And to know that they keep coming back year after year to Lake Myrtle Sports Park, it's a testament to the complex. It's a testament to the city of Auburndale and that partnership with Polk County. So we're excited to have them back.
Yeah,
and with
exactly.
Disney. So thousands of kids coming back in, utilizing that facility. It's going to be another great event.
The Lakeland Raiders doing a great job bringing back arena football to the Lakeland Center.
Yeah, they've done a great job this season. They've had a great season. Their Achilles heel so far has been the Florida Tarpons, a team that was successful last year, a team they can't seem to beat. It's the only loss they have is they keep losing to the Florida Tarpons. But Michael Mink and the whole ownership group has done a great job. And in their first year, they're not just competitive; they're winning ball games. They're getting fans into the stands, and it brings football to Polk County, which is a hotbed of football in a time of year when football is not in season.
Yeah, and it's
so
some great entertainment.
It
you
is.
Get right up close and personal with these guys.
I tell you what, if you stand, if you, for those of you at home that don't know, they have the regular arena at the Lakeland Center, and then they have the ice skating boards around, and they play within those confines there, but they're not down until they're leveled, not hit leveled into those sideboards.
Yeah.
And if you're standing right there, you better keep your head on a swivel because you may end up with a player in your lap or a football zinging by your head. But it's great family
it's
fun.
It's exciting. It's very exciting. The Jeep Jam Challenge. What's going on with that?
I have no idea.
Okay, then we'll just keep moving right along. With
Just kidding. It's an ATV trail riding and music festival that's going to be taking place at Triple Canopy Ranch, of course, just outside Lake Wales. You can always give Triple Canopy Ranch a call at 863-332-5252. They put on some fantastic events down there, and it's a $3,000 ATV event with a $3,000 purse. So good event. More soccer with ODP training, Olympic development training. It's not just recreational events going on at Lake Myrtle. It's not just competitive events, but it's also the state Olympic development takes place out there at Lake Myrtle with the Florida Youth Soccer Association.
And one of our neat events, of course, we've got the Florida's Five-Star Girls Team Classic, and this is a round-robin event that'll be taking place June 8th through the 10th, and a good opportunity to watch some girls basketball there. And Camp Rock is coming up too as
Absolutely.
well.
A lot of events coming up. It's a great time of year. You can always go to centralfloridasports.com. You can check out the radio version of Sports Central on Thursdays from 5 to 6 on WLKF 1430. And before we get out of here, I got to thank some special sponsors to help bring us this program. Bright House Networks, Holiday Inn Winter Haven, People's Barbecue, which it's Friday, it's open, and Ramada Inn, Hotel and Conference Center, and the Hyatt Place at the Lakeland Center. Some of the great sponsors that bring you Sports Central.
And we want everybody to realize that we've got our radio show, which you mentioned, every Thursday night from 5 to 6, Sports Central. And if you want to catch more of these shows, you can pick them up at these times. And don't forget to check out all the information that you can on centralfloridasports.com, or you can call us at 551-4750. And we sure hope you enjoyed the show. It's been a lot of fun, Neal, a lot of great guests.
Yes,
and we hope you join us again when we come back on our next program of Sports Central.